All right, welcome in, everybody. We are going deep, deep, deep today.
Yeah.
Deep into our college football dynasty league.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, and let me tell you, this is not your grandma's fantasy league. This is serious business.
Yeah.
We're talking years of strategy, rivalries that go way back. And honestly, enough drama to make a reality TV show producer jealous.
Yeah, for real.
So we've got a whole stack of recaps, rankings, stats to dig through. And trust me, this season, buckle up, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it's really interesting what we're seeing is this like a shift in the power dynamics.
Yeah.
Like teams that everybody thought were going to be like cruising to the top are kind of struggling. And then some of these underdogs are making some serious moves.
Right, yeah.
It's really showing how unpredictable college football can be. You know? Even when you're playing the long game like in a dynasty league.
Yeah. And speaking of unpredictable, okay, let's jump right into it. The biggest shocker of the season so far. Virginia Tech sitting pretty at the top spot.
Wow.
I mean, they started the season ranked 3rd, which, not bad, but nobody saw this coming. Especially after their coaches, shall we say, encounter with the team mascot.
Yeah, the turkey incident.
Yeah, it was...
that was memorable.
Memorable, for sure.
But, I think the real story here is how the team has responded. Some people might say that, coach being out of commission actually like brought them together or something.
Oh, interesting.
But honestly, I think it's more about Gabe Chisholm stepping up as a leader.
Yeah.
He's not putting up those flashy numbers.
Right.
But his efficiency is incredible. 19 touchdowns, over 1,700 passing yards.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's huge.
The guy is getting it done.
Yeah, and that's a really great point about Chisholm's leadership. I hadn't even considered that angle.
Yeah.
He's not the most, exciting quarterback to watch, but he gets the job done. So does that make him a legitimate Heisman contender, or is he just riding this wave of team success?
I mean, that's the $1,000,000 question, right? Like,
yeah.
The Heisman often goes to the flashiest player, not necessarily the most valuable. So, can he keep this level of play up and lead the Hokies to a championship? I mean, that's what the voters are going to be looking for.
That's true. That's true. And speaking of surprises, who could forget Houston's just demolition of Georgia Tech?
Oh, man.
The wine mixer fumbling twice on trick plays. Like, come on.
Oof.
Just painful to watch. And Coach Q even swore he'd never let him pitch again. I mean, talk about drama.
Oh, yeah. That game was a statement win for Houston.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they exposed some serious weaknesses in Georgia Tech's offense and showed everyone they belong in the conversation with the top teams.
Just for sure.
I'm curious to see if Coach Q sticks to his guns about the wine mixer, though.
Oh, Coach Q, he does not make empty threats.
Right.
But on the other hand, you've got Will Haddad proving himself to be a force to be reckoned with, leading the league in passing yards. That's some serious efficiency.
Oh, yeah.
Could we be seeing the start of a major rivalry brewing here?
Absolutely. I think Haddad's efficiency is impressive, especially considering the defenses he's facing. His steady style is like the total opposite of the wine mixer's high-risk, high-reward approach.
Right.
I think their next matchup is going to be must-see TV.
Oh, for sure. And then there's the enigma that is UCF. I mean, Dynasty team used to being at the top.
Used to it.
To see them like languishing at 12th is mind-boggling.
I know.
Is Coach Matty Merriby losing his touch? Or is there something more strategic going on here?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay. I'm listening.
On the surface, it looks like Coach Matty Bees is struggling. Like, he's publicly criticized his team, even called them the worst he's ever coached.
Wow.
But on the other hand, look at their quarterback, Seth Dasher. A 250 QB rating, 19 touchdowns. Those are Heisman-level numbers.
You're right. And Santiago Duggan, their wide receiver, is having a monster season, too. I mean, could Coach Matty Merriby be intentionally downplaying their talent, trying to lull the competition into a false sense of security?
Yeah.
I mean, he is known for his mind games.
That's what I'm thinking. It's classic misdirection. People are already counting UCF out, which could make them incredibly dangerous down the stretch.
Oh, that's a good point. And while everyone's focused on the drama at UCF, and Georgia Tech, California, has quietly climbed to the number 4 spot.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Coach Kyle's cheese strategy, all deep passes and all-out blitzes, is either genius or madness.
Right.
But it seems to be working for them. And they have P.J. Bryant, who I think is a serious dark horse Heisman contender.
Bryant is a beast. 839 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns. That's not flying under the radar for long.
No, sir.
The cheese strategy is certainly unconventional.
It is.
But you can't argue with the results.
Yep.
High risk, high reward, and right now the rewards are outweighing the risks.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Cheese Bowl victory against Missouri. They completely shut down Coach DV's offense, even with him calling plays from...
Let's just say his location was a little unconventional that week.
Yes, the weed gummy incident. It does make you wonder how, like, external factors,
MO.
influence a coach's decision-making, even in a fantasy league.
Right. But to be fair to Coach DV, Missouri also had some technical difficulties that week.
Oh, that's right.
Remember their starting quarterback getting injured because of their dial-up internet connection?
Tangled up in the phone cord, you can't make this stuff up.
Oh, it's brutal.
Thankfully, Coach Todd at SMU stepped in with a fiber optic upgrade for Arizona State. We don't want any more players getting sidelined by outdated technology.
Yeah, got to have that high-speed connection.
Speaking of details, let's talk about the Heisman race.
Okay, let's do it.
The wine mixer is still leading, even after that disastrous game against Houston. But P.J. Bryant is right behind him.
It's an intriguing contrast in styles.
Yeah.
The wine mixer is all about those big highlight reel plays, even if it means taking risks.
Right.
Bryant, on the other hand, is Mr. Consistency. He just grinds out those tough yards and wears down defenses.
And let's not forget about UCF's dynamic duo Dasher and Duggan.
Oh, yeah, they're balling.
They're putting up insane numbers, even with their team's so-called struggles. This Heisman race is shaping up to be a real nail-biter.
It's going to come down to who can lead their team to the playoffs and potentially a championship.
Yeah.
Individual stats are important.
Right.
But voters always look at the bigger picture.
So what we have here is a wide-open Heisman race, potential changing of the guard at the top of the league, and enough drama to fill a whole season of reality TV. Buckle up, folks, because it's only going to get wilder from here.
It's amazing how much talent there is in this league. I mean, seriously, and how it's impacting the game. I mean, we haven't even touched on some of the standout players beyond the quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, there are guys having career years at like every position. I mean, you look at running backs like John McKillop from SMU. The guy is on track to lead the league in rushing for the second year in a row. And then you have Alex Modorquez from Houston. Talk about a powerhouse.
Both of those players are absolute workhorses. They're not just racking up yards, they're finding the end zone, and they're opening things up for their teammates. But you can't talk about running backs without mentioning Floyd Connors from Virginia Tech.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
Quietly averaging almost 7 yards a carry. I mean,
that's insane.
Ridiculous.
Connors is definitely one of those under-the-radar guys who's having a breakout season, maybe not as flashy as some of the other running backs, but he's getting the job done. And what about David Ebukam from Georgia Tech? He's been a bit of a puzzle, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's capable of those explosive plays,
right.
But also prone to those, back-breaking fumbles.
Yeah.
That's the thing with running backs, consistency is king.
For sure.
Ebukam has the potential to be a game changer, but he needs to hold on to the ball if he wants to be in that Heisman conversation.
Yep. All right, let's shift gears here a little bit and talk about the wide receivers. You got to start with Ty Longo from SMU. The guy is a monster. Leading the league in receiving yards, big target, great hands. And then there's TJ Slater from Florida State, Mr. Big Play himself.
Oh, yeah. Both of those guys are absolutely crucial to their team's offensive success. Longo's like a quarterback's dream.
Oh, yeah.
Reliable, big target, always
Yes.
seems to come down with the ball. And Slater, that guy can take the top off any defense.
I know.
His speed and agility just create those explosive plays. It's exciting to watch.
It really is. Speaking of exciting, we can't forget about Dylan Payne from Virginia Tech. He's putting together a really nice season, over 600 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns. He might not be the biggest or fastest receiver, but he's got that knack for finding the open spot and running those crisp routes,
Yeah, Payne's a great example of a player who understands the nuances of the game. He might not wow you with raw athleticism, but he's smart. He's technically sound. Those types of players are invaluable.
Absolutely. And we've got to talk about UCF's Santiago Duggan. He's been a touchdown machine this season. 11 already, averaging over 25 yards a catch. All of this while his team is supposedly struggling.
Duggan is a dynamic playmaker, the kind of guy who can score from anywhere on the field.
Right.
And you can't teach that ability to make defenders miss in the open field.
Yeah.
Every time he touches the ball, something exciting could happen.
Yeah, it seems like every team in this league has at least one receiver who can just take over a game. But what about the guys on the other side of the ball?
Oh, yeah, the defense.
The defensive stars who are making life miserable for those high-powered offenses.
Right.
You have to start with Gabe Blunt from Missouri.
Oh, man.
The former Heisman winner is leading the league in sacks.
Blunt is a disruptive force. you know?
He is.
The kind of player who can single-handedly shift the momentum of a game. Getting to the quarterback, forcing turnovers. I mean, that's crucial. And he's one of the best at it.
And he has a great name for a defensive player, Gabe Blunt. It just sounds intimidating. But seriously, Blunt is the real deal. You just can't take your eyes off him when he's on the field. Every play is a potential game changer.
Yeah, he elevates the play of everyone around him. And that's what makes a truly great player, It's not just about their stats. It's about how they impact the entire team.
So, to recap, we've got quarterbacks putting up video game numbers, running backs who can run over you or around you, receivers making circus catches look routine, and a defense that is hungry for sacks. This league has it all. And we haven't even mentioned the special teams. I mean, you got kickers booming 50-yard field goals. You got punters pinning opponents deep. You got returners who can flip the field in a heartbeat like this league.
Yeah.
It's stacked with talent from top to bottom.
It really speaks to the depth of talent that we're seeing this season.
Yeah.
Any given Saturday, any team can come out on top.
Right.
And I think that's why this race for the championship is going to be a nail-biter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But taking a step back, what does all this tell us about the bigger picture of college football? Are we seeing a changing of the guard with these new powerhouses like Virginia Tech and Houston? Or will those dynasty teams like UCF and Georgia Tech find a way to bounce back? What do you think?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right?
It is.
The emergence of these new contenders, I think it definitely suggests that the old guard is being challenged. But you can never count out teams like UCF and Georgia Tech,
Right.
They have that history of resilience, that winning mentality. It's in their DNA.
Yeah. UCF has won 5 championships in the last 6 seasons. I mean, they know how to win, plain and simple.
Yeah. They know how to win.
And Georgia Tech has been a perennial contender for years.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going down without a fight.
No. I think this season is really showing us that there's a new breed of talent coming up, hungry to challenge the established order. But experience and a winning culture still count for a lot in this league. And it's going to be fascinating to see how these narratives play out.
Oh, I'm so here for it. One thing's for sure, though. This season is going down in the history books.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got upsets, emerging stars, coaching controversies, a Heisman race that is too close to call. It's everything you could want in a dynasty league and more.
He's got it all.
It does. And as we head into week 7, the storylines just keep getting more intense.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Virginia Tech might be the team to beat right now, but every week is going to be a battle for them.
It is.
Houston is definitely a legitimate contender. You can see the hunger in their play. They want that championship.
Yeah.
And then you have UCF down, but definitely not out.
Right.
There's still a threat to make a dip run.
And that Heisman race is still wide open.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to come down to who can lead their team to the playoffs and make a statement in those big games.
Don't forget about teams like California quietly making a run for the playoffs, Missouri hoping to turn things around, and SMU with their new and improved internet connection.
Exactly. So many exciting storylines to follow. It's a great time to be a college football fan, especially a fan of this dynasty league.
So as we head into the second half of the season, keep your eye on the standings, watch the games, and be prepared for more twists and turns.
Oh, yeah.
This season is far from over.
It's just getting started.
And if you need someone to break it all down for you, you know where to find us right here on The Deep Dive.
Until next time, keep those fantasy rosters updated and those rivalries heated, because in college football, anything is possible.